Who was the monster that terrorized the romantic city of Florence for almost 2 decades? This question still haunts the minds of many. Our story begins in the year 1968. A chilling discovery was made in the rolling hills surrounding the city, forever staining its idyllic reputation. The first victims of the Monster of Florence were found, their lives brutally ended. The scene was grisly, a shocking sight that sent a wave of horror rippling through the city. The tranquility of Florence was shattered, replaced with a growing sense of dread. This picturesque Italian city, known for its art and culture, was now under the shadow of an unseen terror. The inhabitants were left in a state of fear, their peaceful lives disrupted by the realization that a monster was hiding among them. Yet, little did they know, this was just the first act of a terrifying drama that would unfold over the next 17 years. But this was only the beginning of what would become a reign of terror. As the years passed, the monster's thirst for blood seemed to grow, leaving a chilling trail of bodies in its wake. The gruesome saga of the Monster of Florence began unfolding in the late 1960s and continued until 1985. In that period, 16 people fell victim to this ruthless killer, their lives brutally cut short in the picturesque hills surrounding Florence. Each crime bore striking similarities, painting a horrifying picture of a predator lurking in the shadows. The victims were always couples, found in their cars or secluded spots, often shot at point-blank range. The women were subjected to a particularly gruesome fate, their bodies mutilated in a manner that suggested the killer had a deep-seated hatred towards them. As the body count grew, fear gripped the city. Florence, once a bustling hub of art and culture, was now a city living in the shadow of a relentless killer. The streets emptied as dusk fell, the once vibrant nightlife replaced by an eerie silence. Paranoia seeped into every corner of the city, with residents locking their doors and eyeing strangers with suspicion. Simultaneously, theories about the identity of the monster began to swirl. Some pointed fingers at a deranged loner living on the fringes of society. Others suggested the work of a satanic cult, drawn to the ritualistic nature of the crimes. The police followed every lead, their investigation taking them from the dark underbelly of Florence to the highest echelons of Italian society. Suspects emerged, only to be dismissed due to lack of evidence or alibis. Each time hope was kindled, it was quickly extinguished, leaving the city in deeper despair. The Monster of Florence was like a phantom, leaving death in his wake but no clues that could lead to his capture. Despite the efforts of the investigators, the monster remained elusive, shrouded in mystery and dread. As the years passed, the monster's reign of terror continued unabated, leaving a city and its people forever scarred by its monstrous deeds. The monster's reign of terror finally ended in 1985, but not with a bang, rather with a whimper. After a series of gruesome murders that sent shockwaves through the hills surrounding Florence, the nightmare seemed to reach its end. The final murder, as brutal and chilling as the ones that came before, sparked an intensive investigation that led to the arrest of a man named Pietro Pacciani. Pacciani, a farmhand with a dark past, was initially convicted for these horrendous crimes. However, he was later acquitted, casting a long shadow of doubt over the entire case. The question remains, was the real Monster of Florence ever truly caught? Or did he vanish into the shadows, leaving behind a legacy of fear? Some argue that Pacciani was merely a pawn, while others believe that the true monster still roams free. The Monster of Florence may be gone, but the fear and mystery it left behind still haunts the city to this day. The Monster of Florence wasn't just a killer, it was a phenomenon that left a lasting impact on the city and its people. This reign of terror left an indelible mark on Florence, forever altering its landscape. The once bustling tourism industry took a significant hit as tales of the monster spread far and wide. Fear seeped into the city's cultural fabric, casting long shadows that lingered even after the killings had ceased. But the story of the monster didn't end with the cessation of the murders. It took on a life of its own, inspiring a slate of books, movies, and TV shows, each one attempting to unravel the enigma that was the Monster of Florence. These narratives serve as chilling reminders of the city's past, echoing the dread that once held Florence in its grip. The Monster of Florence may be a thing of the past, but its chilling legacy is a reminder that sometimes the monsters are all too real.